Hey everyone, it's Ari here. You may know me from Submissions 101. And actually, what I want to talk to you about today is how to put on a successful martial arts, in particular, jiu-jitsu seminar at your school. I've been to over 100 seminars over the years, and I've held close to 50 at my own school. So I've learned a thing or two on how to put on a successful seminar at your own school. Really, what it comes down to is you don't want to be putting on something that you're losing money at. You want the instructor coming in to be happy. You want to be happy. Your students want to be happy. So here are some of the tips that I'm going to share with you. This video is about 10 minutes long, so maybe grab a pen, piece of paper, and just maybe jot down some of the things on a piece of paper to help you. So the first thing you need to look at is what is the demand of the instructor you're coming in. So I'm going to particularly talk about your own instructor or your affiliate instructor that's the head of your school. I'm not talking about bringing in other instructors. That is different, and that changes the game a teeny bit. But right now, we're just going to talk about your own home instructor or your own personal instructor. So my instructor, Keith Owen, I bring him in twice a year to my school, typically 6 months apart. And it's important to bring your instructor in because you need your students to meet your instructor. And the new white belts that join your school, say within that 6 months period, they've never met your instructor. So it's important to bring out your teacher and have them get a flavor of what they do. When Keith comes out to my school, he ends up doing belt testing as well. And it's just nice to just kind of have that family and camaraderie with your students and your teachers. So that's kind of what we're talking about in this video. So when to bring them out. So time of year, super important. I typically bring out my instructor twice a year, as I said. I try to avoid months like December because people are busy, Christmas time, holidays, that's tough. January, again, not a good time. So I usually go for a spring and a fall type of seminar base. So we're looking at March, and usually in October is when I try to get Keith out. And that's kind of the good way to do it for you. Of course, you can do it in the summer. You may have your instructor out once a year, sometimes great because typically the weather is good. I usually hold the seminars on Saturdays, and they're usually 3 hours long. I find that any more than 3 hours, it becomes a little daunting for the people who are attending the seminar. It gets quite long. So 3 hours is that sweet spot. I've played around with different times, and I find that 3 hours has been the best and the most bang for the buck. Speaking about bang for the buck, you got to talk about price point. What are you going to charge for the seminar? Now, I've seen some seminars that have been just exorbitant, and you're just like, wow, I can't believe it's so expensive. But you've got to remember there's costs and incidentals involved with bringing out someone to your school. So where is the perfect price point? The price point is you have to take in consideration where you live, what the demand is, what country you're in, how much it's going to cost to bring them out, and these all factor on how much you charge. I have seen instructors and schools charge maybe $50, say at one place, and $100 at another place, and it's for the same instructor. And the reason they have to do this is because it may cost more to bring them out. There may be an exchange rate, bringing them from the U.S. into Canada, because right now it's like 25% exchange rate. So as Canadians, we're losing money, so we have to charge a little bit more. So you have to take these into consideration. As a school owner, you want people to sign up early, and that is the biggest headache for most of us. How do you get people to sign up early? Well, one, you need to have online registration. If you don't, you are missing the boat. You cannot expect people to come in to pay at your front desk all the time. You want to make it as easy as possible. So online registration, PayPal, amazing way. Our business totally expanded, and you also get people from out of town that can pay via the online registration. So online, super important. If you don't have it, you must get it. In-house registration, of course you have to have it. You have your front desk person who's working as they come in. You're reminding people at the end of classes, get in, sign up early. It's a cheaper price point. What's the difference between the two price points? Maybe early bird is $25 or $30 cheaper. One thing that we have done that has worked really well is I do a raffle, and I will do a 1 hour free lesson with my instructor, Keith Owen, when he comes, and they can choose a partner. So you basically say you do early bird registration. You get in on the raffle to have a free private with Keith, and then I will end up drawing that name typically a little bit closer towards the seminar date. The person knows that they've won, they can invite a friend, and then they get that free seminar with Keith. Of course, you as a school owner will pay the private cost, whatever your instructor is charging, but it's a good way to get people engaged and to sign up early. If people do sign up after the early bird price point or registration date, you must stick with the rate which is past the early bird. A lot of instructors, jiu-jitsu instructors, you may be a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but there's a lot of white belt business people out there. So you've got to stick with it because it's not fair to the people who are early birds. So it is the incentive, and as they know, as time goes on and every seminar that comes in, you're basically going early bird, here's the cutoff, we're done, we're now moving on. So it now gets them for the next seminar that they're going, okay, I am going to do the early bird this time because I want to save my 30 or 40 bucks or whatever it is. Location of the seminar. If you're holding your seminar at your school, make sure you have enough room. It is detrimental to hold a seminar at your school where it is totally busting at the seams, people are rolling into each other, and you literally can't practice. I have been to seminars like that. And while it still may be awesome, we do want to practice and we do want to have some real estate to practice on. So make sure you have enough space. Some people limit their space and say, I have room for 40 people, and this is what it is, and that's it. I am not a huge fan of putting a cap on registration. People use it as a marketing tool, saying there's only 3 spots left, and in reality there's 20, and they're just trying to get people to sign up. I like to have it open-ended and just keep going and keep going. If it comes to the point where you doubled your seminar and you're going to get tons of people, you may want to look at a different venue. I've held some seminars at the local university here and put out a huge amount of space and mats, and it's been awesome, because the demand has been bigger than what my school could hold. So you have to take that into consideration. If you're having a huge name maybe come out to your school, you may want to look at other places to rent or have some kind of system going. So I teach at the university here in town, so I get a really good rate if we want to hold seminars up there. So that's really worked well for me. But typically, if I'm just having a normal seminar, I can get maybe 40 or 50 people in my own school, but anything past that, I have to look somewhere else. Make sure that when you are doing your seminar, start small and then go big. If you just open your school and you want to bring out your home instructor, don't throw all this money at it. You may need to wait 6 months, a year, so you get money in the coffers before you can bring them out. You do not want to lose money at seminars. There's no reason that you should be losing money at bringing your instructor out. It's all about timing and how you market your seminar. So take that into consideration. While it's cool to have your instructor out, it's certainly not cool having a $3,000 debt after you've brought them out and having to pay that off. So just work at it and go slow. And once you figure you have the demand and you've done the crunching of the numbers, then bring out your instructor. Don't rush it. And your instructor, I'm sure, will be very cool about it, and they'll understand. Marketing. Now, here's the big one. How do you get people to come to your seminar? There's several ways. The first one, we're going to talk about posters. I have seen a ton of posters out there for seminars, and some of them are shit. And they're too busy, they have too many things on it, or the instructor themselves is doing the poster, and they have no experience doing posters whatsoever. So they've opened up their Word, they've thrown some things together. If it doesn't look professional, you're not going to get people to come to the seminar. So spend the time or ask your student base, does anyone have any graphic experience? Because you need a poster done. Those are the people that you should be relying on, okay? So very, very important. Do not put a seminar poster out there that looks like shit, because it's going to be put on the internet. You may want to put it up. And if it looks like it's from a fourth grader, people will go, it doesn't look good, so it probably isn't going to be good. I know that those typically, that doesn't mean that they're going to match, but it's just people's expectation, especially if you want people from outside your own school to come to this seminar. So spend the time, find someone who knows what they're doing, and get a seminar poster done correctly. Marketing for other schools. Okay, so you've pitched to your own school and you want your students to come. They're all on board. You're talking up your instructor how awesome it's going to be, and they know there's going to be some belt testing going on, or whatever is going on. So you got that. But you want to bring in some other people. So how are you going to get in other schools? Typically, other schools, if you're bringing in your own instructor for a seminar, some schools go, oh, that's the other affiliation that's in my town, and it's like, I do like their instructor, but I have some problems going to someone else's affiliation head instructor in their school. I know it sounds weird. There are politics in jiu-jitsu. I'm pretty open-minded. My students go to different things, but not all instructors are like that. However, if you were to bring in a neutral instructor, or some instructor that has a really big name, you tend to draw more people, because it's like, oh, there's some neutrality involved. So if I bring in Hicks and Gracie to my school, I'm going to be drawing a lot of different people, because I'm not affiliated with Master Hickson, but neither are the other schools in town. So we all have kind of meet on neutral ground, and that will really typically do very well, obviously, because of who it is. But you can still draw other people, and we would draw from other schools because you need to build a relationship with other schools. And even though we may be in two different associations, if you're communicating with them, if you're seeing them at tournaments, or you're just chatting, that's the best way to kind of go back and forward to bring people in for these local seminars. Where to market online. Facebook, super important. Social media is where it's at. You've got to be doing it. You've got to be hitting social media hard all the time. You need to make event pages on your Facebook for it. You need people to be signing up. You need to be touching base with your students, saying, have you signed up? Are you coming? Awesome. And that is amazing. So don't leave that out. If you're kind of in the dark ages and you're not in the social media thing, you got to do it. Make sure that on your website there is the poster and event saying that your instructor is coming in. If you don't have it, there's a huge problem, because people are going to be missing it. You get traffic coming in from people who maybe are looking to come to your school, and they go, oh, this is a seminar. Well, this is interesting. So they may call you and ask about that as well. So you've got to do that. You need a 4-month head start on your seminar. If you are not doing at least 4 months in advance, it's not giving people enough time. If I'm bringing out my instructor, I put out posters, I tell my classes, and I hit them for 4 months, just nonstop saying, it's coming out, here's your warning, save up some money, and it's coming. So 4 months at least when you're having your instructor come out. What are the costs of putting on a seminar? There are several. First, airfare. If your instructor does not live in your city, you need to be flying them out, so need to take that into consideration. You're looking at anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for airfare. Hotel versus homestay. If you have a good relationship with your affiliate head or instructor, they maybe can stay at your house if you have room. I do that. Keith stays at our place all the time. He's a friend of ours, a friend of my family, so we have no problem doing that. If it's a more professional basis or whatever, you have to be looking into having a hotel. Make sure that if you do put an instructor up in a hotel, that it is a nice hotel. The last thing you want is to put someone into a dive that smells, that is gross, because that is the lasting impression that they'll have when they leave your city. So make sure that they're treated right. They are your guests, and you want to be treating them the best that you can. You have to take in consideration also food and entertainment over maybe the typically 3 days that they're there. Usually an instructor will fly in on a Friday, seminar will be Saturday, and they'll fly it on a Sunday because they have their own schools to run and lots of things going on. When I bring in Keith, I typically will actually bring him in on a Wednesday, and he'll maybe do a surprise class. He will do belt testing with us. He will do some private lessons. So that's really good too, to increase the revenue for his bottom line, and also for your students to get more exposure to him rather than just that small window on a Saturday. So something to take into consideration. So you should be covering their food and entertainment. Again, they're your guests and they're out twice a year, so you kind of want to make sure that you have money available for that. If they are international, meaning they're coming from the United States into Canada, or you're bringing them out to England or vice versa, make sure you touch base with customs. I have seen instructors turn back at the border because, one, they have come in and said, oh, I'm just coming here to visit and I'm not working in your country. And then they find out, and then Border Patrol guards, basically, they turn them around, customs sends them back home. So that is the worst thing that can happen. I've seen it done tons of times. So tell your instructor to tell the customs people that they are there to work. If you need to pay for a work visa, pay for the work visa. In Canada, like from the States coming in, it's about $155. It's money well spent, because the last thing you want is your seminar getting canceled and then you're out a ton of money. So play by the rules, because trust me, eventually you'll get caught. Customs are pretty sharp. They're typing on computers, putting in names. If they're coming in, or they see that your instructor is a world traveler, they will immediately go to their computer and look and see, hey, seminars, and they might find it on Facebook, and then you've got a lot of explaining to do. So pay the duty, or pay the work visa costs. It is well worth it. Next, we're going to talk about swag. Swag, what are you going to do? T-shirts, got to pre-order T-shirts. I've seen people do T-shirts for seminars, which is totally awesome. Make sure that when you are doing your T-shirts that they're designed well, just like the posters. I've seen crap T-shirts out there. I still see crap T-shirts out there. It's not something that I typically do. I do it once in a blue moon if it's a huge seminar, but I also make sure that I do pre-orders. I no longer order just a whole bunch of things, T-shirts, and hope that people buy them. It is not worth it, and you'll be stuck with all these T-shirts and in the hole because no one's buying them. When you make money and the instructor makes money, everyone is happy, okay? It's a win-win situation. There's no rule that says you can't make money in a seminar. You should be. You're a business, and it helps keep your doors open. So make sure that you work your costs in, how much you're charging, how many people that you'll need, and keep all the receipts, and just be meticulous about it. If you're not, you'll have no idea how much you spent, and you'll be like, oh, it was great, whatever. You want to be a black belt in business, not a white belt in business. So keep all receipts and make sure that you budget everything and you know where the money's going and where it's coming out. There you go. A lot of things about seminars. Some of the things are pretty basic, Hopefully I've thrown in a couple of things that you haven't thought about it. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can contact me via Facebook, REK, or also on Instagram at the REK, and we can chat there. Take it easy, roll on, be excellent. Talk to you soon.